I just like to thank you for joining me. I love Hadestown, so I'm excited to have you on.
Thanks, bud.
And so, for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself for those who don't know who you are?
Cool. Hey, everybody. My name is Nickolaus Colón. I've been an actor since I can remember. I graduated from UNCSA back in 2015, and yeah, about to do my third national tour playing Hades in Hadestown.
That's awesome. And so, what was the audition process like for Hadestown?
So Hadestown, yeah, it was actually pretty simple for me at least. It was we had one self-tape audition where the only thing I had to do was Songbird. The cool thing about the show is that there's not really scenes. It's all
Mhm.
in the music. So yeah, just had to do Songbird and that was it. And then I got the in-person callback. And so then during the in-person callback, we did Hey Little Songbird and a little bit of How Long. And I worked with our director for the tour, Keenan. Uh and yeah, just knocked it out and then got the final callback. Now that was the cool one because there was four of us, two Hades, two Persephone, and we all went in one at a time. We had about 20-minute work sessions each, just working with them, taking notes, adjustments, this, that. Then they came in and then they paired us up. So it was me and the Misa. And then yeah, just paired each other up. We went in and connected and knocked it out. And then we got an email a couple days later.
That's awesome. And so, when in your career did you realize this is where I want to stay? This is what I want to do for the rest of my career.
I got pretty lucky. I come from a military family, so dad is was a drill sergeant, master sergeant. My stepdad, special forces. My mom met my dad in the military. I'm the only performer. Needless to say, it took them a little while to get used to the idea of me being in tap shoes and unitards, etc. But they did. They love me, thankfully. But yeah, no, it was one of those things where I was going into eighth grade in middle school, and I was looking at it. I loved singing and dancing, but I also loved football. And Hope Mills Middle School had this football tryout, and I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. But unfortunately, the weekend before tryouts, I was at church. We're playing indoor soccer, shoes off. There's a little SpongeBob soccer ball, and we're going. Long story short, I don't know how to play soccer, and I stepped on it, rolled, broke my growth plate in my big toe. So when I got up, it was just a gruesome sight. So needless to say, the football career ended before it even started. And after that, I did Barnum at Cape Regional Theater. And that was when I was like, okay, this is it. This is it. This is what I want to do. And then I got into UNCSA for the senior year high school program. And yeah, never looked back.
That's great. And so, what has been your favorite show you've been in your career?
It's about to happen right now. I saw Hadestown back in on Valentine's Day. My partner Katie took me, and it was life changing. And that's saying as someone who's like 31 and like has I've done a lot. Uh, but before Hadestown, Beauty and the Beast was amazing. I did a Cardinal Stages, and it's one of those shows that like if it's done right is just beautiful and fun and amazing. But yeah, I have a really I think it's gonna be pretty easy to say once we start rehearsals in September, Hadestown's gonna be the number one.
And when does the tour kick off?
So we start rehearsals September 3rd. We head to Waterbury, Connecticut for Tech, September 22nd, and then we open in Waterbury October 3rd, I believe. So
That's
yeah, it's
awesome.
just a couple of weeks in New York and then a couple of weeks of Tech, and then we go.
That's awesome. And so, what stop are you looking forward to most on tour and why?
So there's two. There's two big ones when I was looking at the schedule, and it's a really good schedule. And it's great. Number one is the Fisher Theater in Detroit. So back in 2019, going in, or sorry, 2020, I was on my way. I was a part of the national tour Fiddler on the Roof, and we were having a great time. We still had a couple months left to go. But then on March 12th, 2020, I was heading to the theater for a put in for one of our new guys. And we all got an email saying, hey, we're heading home. We're going to head home for 2 weeks while this whole pandemic thing blows over. And once that's done, we'll get back on the road. So, needless to say, that 2 week pandemic turned into however year and a half, however long that took. So I get to go back to that theater, which is gonna be cool. Because the pandemic was a very hard time for anyone in the arts, and it's gonna be cool to revisit that. And then the other one is I saw my very first touring show of In the Heights at Durham Performing Arts Center, and I'm from North Carolina, so I get to perform in DPAC. So that kid, when he was 16, saw a show, touring show, was like, wow, this is amazing. And now I get to be that person on stage while some other kids going like, wow, that's what I want to do. So,
That's awesome. I'm hoping to win the lottery for when you guys are in Chicago, so I'm excited for that.
oh yeah, yeah. It'll be my third time in Chicago. And
Oh,
Chicago is
awesome.
like, and to finish the tour for the first year there is it's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
that's phenomenal. And so, who are some of your biggest inspirations as an actor?
Ooh. I so I just watched Deadpool Wolverine the other day. And it's so funny, but because I'm like watching Hugh Jackman work. But for me, Hugh Jackman's always been the biggest. Because I'm looking at, especially when I grew up, I looked at Hugh Jackman as this guy who was a badass playing Wolverine. Like everyone loves him. He's like this comic book superhero. But then I'm literally watching on cassette while he's playing Curly in Oklahoma in London. And it's this leading man who can play these amazing, dark, action packed dramas in movies and TV, and who also can do the Boy from Oz, where he puts on a light pink little dress shirt and is dancing all over that stage, or Greatest Showman, or Music Man, or anything in between. So Hugh Jackman was the biggest one. Just showed me that a man is not just, especially come from a military family, a man is not just like what the stereotype of it. It's like there's so many layers and there's so many different sides to it, and you can sing and dance and still be a badass. So yeah, Hugh Jackman.
That's awesome. And so, what advice would you give to your younger self if you could go back in time and tell him?
Uh, I would say it took me too long to figure out. And one of my teachers at school was very blunt about it. His name was Matt Bullock. He passed a couple years ago, but he looked at me and he was like, "Nick, here's the deal. When you're confident, you're really good. When you're not confident, you suck." And that was the biggest thing. It like I am 6'3". I used to be very, very tiny. But I would say to my younger self that, you look great, bud. You're fine. You're not whatever you perceive yourself to be. Just know that you're fine. The human body is a wonderful thing. You can breathe, you can fight, you can dance, you can sing. Like, just trust it. I wish I had trusted my body a long, long time ago instead of judging it and trying to change it constantly. So, yeah, just be happy with who you are. That's it.
Yeah, that's great. And so, this next question ties in with the last one. What advice do you have for younger actors who want to become actors in the industry professionally?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing now is um there's so many different medias to acting now. Like there's people who get famous just because they had an insane TikTok following now. Like I think one of the things is that like everyone's talented now. Everyone's super talented and there's a huge pool of people who want to do this. Um I think my biggest advice for people is you have to work harder than everyone else. Um, when the times when people are like, I don't want to, you need to do something. You got to make sure you get a little bit better every day. And also, yeah, you got to be a little crazy. You got to have a little delusional confidence. You have to walk into a room being like, I'm the answer. Like, it's okay. You don't have to audition for the rest of the day. I'm the guy you want to find. I'm here, let's start rehearsals. So, yeah.
That's great. And so that's the question portion. And so I have some Hadestown finish the lyrics slash line, and I like to play these games with actors. So
Okay.
I think there's 14 of them. So
Okay.
uh So the first one is here's a little snippet of advice. Men are fools, oh men are frail.
Give him a rope and they'll hang themselves.
Yes.
Okay. That was terrifying. Oh shit.
That's right, you got a couple weeks until September.
I know. I was like, I don't have a script yet, but we're gonna do this. I've been listening nonstop. I'm here.
Brother, when you're down, you're down. When you're up, you're up.
If you ain't 6 feet under the ground, you're living it up on top.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
And we'll lie down and ender down, a pillow neath our heads.
Say it one more time.
And we'll lie down and ender down, a pillow neath our heads.
Oh, with our head. Man. Give us the I can hear the music. I don't. What's the lyric? You give it to me. What do you got?
The bird's gonna make the wedding bed.
The bird. Yeah. Yeah.
And so this next one is, if you don't even want my love.
I'll give it to someone who does.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then why is it so hot down here? Hotter than a crucible.
It ain't right and it ain't natural.
Yes. Someone by my side turned his face to mine.
Give it to me. Oh no.
Don't give me a name. You don't have one.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And so this one, you might not be able to get it because this is a Hermes line.
Okay.
So it's loading. I can hear the walls repeating.
Falling of their feet and it sounds like drumming.
Yes.
Cool.
And so suddenly I'm holding the world in my arms. Oh, I just gave the answer. Never mind.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I was like, no.
This one is, I'm pretty sure, Songbird. Hey, little songbird cat, got your tongue.
Okay. Always a pity for one so pretty and young.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cast your eyes to the heaven.
You get a knife in the back.
Yes. We raise our cups and drink them up.
To Orpheus and all of us? Is that what
No.
No. Give it to me.
We raise them high and drink them dry.
Oh, whoops. Yep.
And the final one is, the dog really got you to dread is the one that howls inside your head.
This is the quote up too. You really got to dress the one inside your head. Something about makes men mad and leads their mind to ruin. I just can't remember the full line.
You're getting there.
I know.
It's him whose howling drives men mad and a mind to its undoing.
And a mind to its undoing. Yeah,
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right, so that wraps up the interview. I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, bud.
And some pauses.